Hi, my name's Lindsay. I'm a physiotherapist and welcome to my golf exercise class. We're going to start off with marching on the spot to warm up. Okay, and we'll do some arm pulses. If you've got a band, great. If you don't have a band, no problem. You can just pulse without the band. So just wrap it around your wrists and do some gentle pulses just down below your waist. So yeah, I've been a physiotherapist and I've been working since 2003. So that's coming up for 23 years. I was a really keen golfer. I got my handicap down to scratch in my 30s, quite a late bloomer. And I had my first kid when I was 40, so I kind of, not playing so much now, but I work on the European tour. So I spend a lot of time around great exercise professionals and great physiotherapists and great golfers. So I've picked up a lot of tricks and tips and exercises along the road. So I'll get to pop the band behind your back. So I've kind of stolen all these exercises. There's a bit from Pilates, there's some from yoga, and there's some from the gym. So I'm going to put them all together for you to help improve your golf swing and your golf in 2026. So it's just going to be a short class, about half an hour, and we'll do it once a week. Okay, so I'm going to do some arm openings. Arm openings are fantastic for thoracic rotation, which is really important for a nice quality backswing. So we're going to get your chest round as far as you can. Again, try and keep that elbow bent so it doesn't annoy your shoulder too much. And you're just trying, the purpose of this exercise is to get your chest round as far as you can. Perfect, and then go the other way. We're going to do this on your side as well to give it a bit more welly. So I've not added songs to the class, but you can put your own songs on. It's up to you. Okay, perfect. So next one, we're going to do some roll downs. So a Pilates exercise, I'll get to tuck your chin in and then one bit of your spine at a time. I want you to curl it down just as far as you feel comfortable. And then come back up, you tuck your tailbone in. And then your low back, mid back, upper back and neck. And again, do this a few times. Good, and then back up the same way. It's just getting your lumbar spine going. Tuck your chin in, thoracic spine, lumbar spine, then hips. You feel a stretch down your hamstrings. And then back up. And one final time. Tuck your chin down. And then we're going to get you to walk out into the downward dog position. So this is a yoga exercise. So if you get your bottom up as high as you can, try and get your head between your shoulders. And you're just going to pump these knees till you feel a stretch down the back of your hamstrings. This is a really good exercise for your mobility, particularly in your hamstrings. I know that hamstring mobility is massively important in the golf swing, but it's quite a nice recovery tool. I guess if you're struggling to get into posture, particularly over a short club like a putter, your hamstrings can kind of limit mobility, limit your performance. So next, another stolen exercise off yoga. We're going to pop your leg up by your side and then turn to the same side. So it's giving you a bit of a hip and a spine stretch at the same time. And also you're getting a bit of weight through your shoulder. So ticking a few boxes here. If you can get your hips up if you want. Make it a little bit harder and get that stretch through your hip. Really push that left knee behind you. And you'll get more of a hip flexor stretch as well. So out of all the mobility things, I would say the thoracic spine is probably the most important on the golf tour. We see a lot of stiff hips, but we don't see many stiff spines. Talking about hips, we're going to do a medial rotation stretch. So we're going to start with the right leg. You put your foot flat on the ground and then bring your knee in. You can stretch your other hamstring as well if you want. And you should just feel a stretch on the inside of your right hip. Hold it for about 20 or 30 seconds. Okay, and switch over. So you can improve hip mobility a little bit. Tends to be dictated by your anatomy, your hip mobility, so it's quite difficult to change. But you should get a little bit of gains if you work away at it. It's also nice to get your breath back. So the next exercise we're going to do hip lateral rotation or glute stretch. So get to pop your foot on your knee and then bring your other knee up to give yourself a bit of a stretch on this side. If that's not giving you enough of a stretch, you can be a bit more vigorous by going into that position. That gives you a much greater stretch. Do the other leg side on to show you. And you would hold that stretch for about 20 or 30 seconds. Oh, I feel that much more than the other way. So I'm not a big fan of stretching before you're round. It's a great recovery tool. But before you're round, it elongates the muscles a little bit for a few hours and it kind of stops them performing. It tends to slow them down a little bit, their responsiveness and their power. So it's not something we really recommend too much, particularly in the power muscles like the glutes and the quads before people go out. But there's nothing wrong with doing it as a recovery tool after your rounds. The power usually returns the next day. But if you've got particularly stiff muscles, then it's quite a nice way to improve your mobility and perhaps improve the quality of your turns. You can also turn into it a little bit, or you can bring your foot up higher to give yourself a better stretch. Okay, the next exercise I'm going to do is the clamshell. This is for your glute muscles, which is really important. It's stabilising your hip when you're turning. So you can do it with or without a band. I'm going to do it with a band, quite a gentle band. Picked a red band to go on my socks today. Okay, so you want to keep your spine nice neutral. You want to keep your pelvis still, and you do that by pretending you're balancing a pint of beer on the top of your hip. Oh, it's dry January, isn't it? A pint of water. And then you just separate your knees. So I'm going to do this for about 30 seconds. You should start to feel a bit of a burn on the outside of your hip. Okay, and then the next one we're going to do is with straight legs. Pop the band on the outside of your feet. And you're going to try and keep your tummy button pointing forwards. And again, pretend you're balancing a pint of water on your pelvis. And you're going to try and move below this area here. So you're working that hip. Therefore working the glutes and not the back. So I'm getting a real burn down the outside of my hip. So these are the hip stabilizers. They'll stabilize your hip while you're pivoting on your legs. Okay, and then I'm going to do some arm openings again for mobility. So pop the top knee up and then rotate as far as I can. Now a good score for this test is to get the shoulder on the ground. So I'm a little bit short on this side. So I'm in my 40s, so I'm starting to lose mobility through my thoracic spine. So it's becoming more important for me to maintain rotation in this area. Okay, we're going to switch over. I'm going to do the right side. Okay, folks. So bend your knees again. Try and keep this still so you got a pint of water on your hip, feet below your bottom, and you're just going to separate your knees. Do that for about 30. So with the a lot of people are making New Year's resolutions. I think the key for me is, if you fall off the wagon, is to get back on again as quick as you can. It's fine to go off the rails, you know, if you miss a couple of exercise sessions or you eat some bad food, but you know, like, just try and get back on it and try not to get too down about it, because the more times you attempt to get fitter and to eat better, then the more likely you are to succeed. So for me, it's just a case of being kind to yourself, not setting your goals too high, set them nice and easy. So it might just be one short exercise session every couple of days or one a week, whatever you think's realistic for you. And just set the bar low and be super kind to yourself. I think that's the key. I think if you set your goals too high, you're going to manage for a few weeks and then fall off the wagon and give up. This is quite a hard one with the band. I think I'm going to ditch the band. That's better. So I have designed a smart golf app. It's a fitness app for golfers. So it's basically all the good stuff that I see on tour has been packaged into an app for the public's benefit. So the link's below in the YouTube page, so sign up and have a look at it. There's a 60-day free trial at the moment, so you can get stuck into an exercise program in New Year for free. So next I'm going to do some arm openings. I also offer online coaching. Fitness coaching, that is, and performance coaching. So if you need help with your schedule, or you need help with types of programs, or even if you're struggling with your golf swing, or struggling with your performance, my skill set would kind of help you improve your swing, possibly by changing muscle recruitment patterns or mobility or even power or speed. I think taking so long to get to scratch myself meant that I left no stone unturned, so I've kind of got that knowledge of what it takes to get a bit better. And obviously you see all the guys on tour doing loads of great stuff. Okay, so this is going to be the last couple exercises on the ground. Again, what we're looking to do is get your shoulder flat on the ground in this exercise, and I'm a bit short. The next exercise I'm going to show you is press-ups. So press-ups is really important for power generation in your golf swing. So you can do this two ways. You can do the hard way with your bottom up, or you can do it on your knees to make it a bit easier. So I'd rather, if you do it as fast as you can, that'd be really good. And we're going to do sets of 3. So we're going to do quite an explosive one. So you go down onto your chest and then explode up as high as you can. Then have a rest. And then we're going to go into jumps. So jumping, again, is a very important way of producing power. And there's very strong correlations between jumping and club head speed. So we're going to do 3 sets of 3 press-ups to jumps. And you're trying to jump as high as you can. Put your hands on your hips. You won't get quite as much oomph, but it produces, makes your legs work a lot harder. Okay, one more set of each. Start to move the mat a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to do some split squats. So you're going to stagger one foot in front of the other, try and keep your head in between your feet, and just go down as far as you feel comfortable. So when you're doing leg exercises, you kind of want them to be very slow but quite heavy. The legs don't work particularly quickly in the golf swing compared to the arms. So you want to look at getting a bit more weight through them, but doing it nice and slow. So if you can carry weights when you do these exercises. If you've got a couple of dumbbells in the house, switch over, nice and slow. do 3 sets of 10 and swap back over. Oh, give your legs a shake. Okay, last lot for the legs for split squat. Oh, my legs are burning, that'll do. Yeah, I'd go up to 10 if your legs are starting to burn. Just stop. So next we're going to do some skating. So you're going to pretend you've got a clock face around you. So you're going to stand on one leg, start with your left. You'll reach out to 12 o'clock as far as you can. Get your hands out. And then out to 3, and then out to 6. As far as you can, then switch over, 12. Go 9 on that side. And then 6, and you're just sinking down as far as you can. You're going to go around the clock face 3 times with both legs. Last time each leg. And again, this is getting the hip stabilizers, which are really important for carrying your pelvis when you load on the golf swing. There we are. The last exercise we're going to do in today's Pilates class is speed sticks. So if you don't have a speed stick, you get a normal golf club and turn it upside down so the grip's in the bottom, and I've gone outside where there's more space. So we're going to do 3 sets of 6 and just gradually build up the pace. And have a break. So for the next exercise, you're going to shift your pressure. We're going to do a little bit of a drill. So you're going to shift your pressure from one foot to the other as much as you can. Just going to do 3 of these. Right, left. And 1 more. Okay. And then for the 3rd set, we're just going to do 3, but we're going to do continuously in both directions. Okay. And that'll do you for this week's class. So we've covered a bit of mobility, a bit of strength, and a bit of speed. And all put together will influence your golf swing. Join us next week again.